Open eyes.
All right. Well, welcome to Summit Center for Spiritual Living, where we share universal good through love. And I'm going to start off with lighting a candle. Now, I have to do um, a fake candle. As you see, there's with the as you light the candle, it represents the God within. But when we light a second candle, it shines a greater light because that represents us. So when we meet together, we share a greater light, just like the two candles. So, um, anyways, that is what is going on. All right. So, John, you want to give us an opening song?
All right. Wait a minute. What's going on here? There we go. Healing love. Loving awareness I share with you. Let us heal the world with love's awareness too. Healing love, awareness and peace. Healing the world with love's increase. Loving kindness I share with you. Let us heal the world with love's kindness too. Healing love, kindness and peace. Healing the world with love's increase. Loving goodness I share with you. Let us heal the world with love's goodness too. Healing love, goodness and peace. Healing the world with love's increase. Loving blessings I share with you. Let us heal the world with love's blessings too. Healing love, blessings and peace. Healing the world with love's increase. Healing the world with love's increase.
Thank you, John, for that opening song. We really appreciate it. Hello, Caroline. Glad you're here. All right. And our speaker today is going to be Tim Morrow, and he's doing our Palm Sunday. So happy Palm Sunday for everybody today. So let me do the 365. I'll get my computer. Okay. So today's thing is physical perfection. When we speak of physical perfection, we are not saying that no one is sick or no one has pain. We are merely implying that a necessity, there is an essence of perfection at the center of everything, including the physical body. If that which is whole within itself were not already here, neither medicine, psychology, nor affirmative prayer could in any way benefit us physically. For whatever the medication or the manipulation or emotional adjustment or prayer or affirmation may do, it does not and cannot create life. It may only reveal it. This is what we mean when we say that every organ, action, and function of our physical body is rooted in a divine life, and that this divine life, there is no congestion, no wrong action. There is always perfection, perfect circulation, assimilation, elimination. Through such statements, we are trying to sense the greater reality, believing as we do in all the healing arts that help humanity. We definitely affirm that towards which they and we all reach the spiritual center of things. Therefore, I affirm that my body is the body of right ideas. It now is the body of God. Every organ, every action, and function of it is in harmony. Whatever does not belong to this body is eliminated. Whatever does not belong is removed. All the energy and all the action and the power and vitality there is in the universe is flowing through its divine creation now. My word does actually eliminate that which does not belong. It does establish the action, that harmony that already exists. There is one life, perfect, harmonious, whole, complete. That life is my life now, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but today. And that was 365 Science of Mind. Okay, so John, you want to lead us into meditation?
Creative awareness, creating and giving, ever pulsing, being and living. Creative awareness, learning all to know. Creative awareness, being what is so. Being loving, helping one another, loving kindness, caring for each other. Creative awareness, learning all to know. Creative awareness, being what is so.
And as we take in a deep breath, just release and relax and just let go. Let's take in another deep breath. And as we release and relax, just let go of the tensions, any pain in your body, any tension that may be lingering. And one more great big deep breath in. And let it go. Allow your chair to support you. I like to think of it as the loving hands of God lifting us up. For there is only one power, one light, one light, one joy, one peace, one beauty, one wholeness, one perfection, one prosperity, one consciousness, and that one is God. For God is everywhere present, right here, right now. For God is love and peace and joy and power, light and life and wisdom, wholeness, completeness, perfection, prosperity, and abundance. God is, I am. And as God is, I am. And each and every one of us here with Summit Center, Spiritual Living, and those who may be watching now or late at a later time are one with this, with God. So as I speak my word for each one of us, I know that we are one with all that God is, that beautiful magnificence that God is, that light, that love, that joy, that peace. I know for Tim, as he speaks today, that his words are powerful, that each person takes with them something to ponder, something to understand, but that the words are God's words working through him and as him. The music that Tim may do or John may do are all through, or also through God. God playing, using them as their instrument. For Carolyn and Hannah and Kyle and myself, I just know that all is well with us. I also know for Michael as he comes back home from Pennsylvania, that he too is safe and taken care of, and the cars works well, no problems. But I just am grateful and thankful for Summit Center for Spiritual Living, for the opportunity to be with each other. And we also speak my word for Deb, who may not be on camera, but we know that she's with us one way or another, whether it be watching us now or at a later time. I just give thanks. I know for Anna's mom that she is physically, things are going well for her. Her body is renewing and revitalizing and regenerating whole, complete cells. Anybody who may be having any health challenges, that the challenge is being met and it's being replaced with perfection and wholeness and completeness. Same goes for anyone with the prosperity challenges. They are prosperous and abundant. And anything that's unlike prosperity and abundance, anything that's unlike unlike perfect health, is now let go, goes back into the nothingness from which it came, and is replaced with perfection, perfect health, prosperity, abundance, perfect relations, that life is good. Life is well. So with this, I give thanks. I give thanks for all the good that is happening. I give thanks for Tim as our speaker again. I give thanks for John doing the music again, for Hannah doing the Facebook feed. Well, I just give thanks for all the good. So I now release my word into the law, knowing I spoke it. Therefore it is done. And so it is. Amen.
Loving awareness. Seeking to find greater wisdom. Soul guided mind, creative awareness, learning all to know, creative awareness, being what is so, being what is so.
Okay, as you open your eyes, please also open your cameras. You take a moment to look into each other's eyes and see the magnificent being that you are, that each person is, that God within each and every person. We see you, Hannah. So with that, I just give thanks. All right. Well, I am grateful to have Tim Morrow, one of our musicians, but he's also, he's been a minister and is a minister in general, but he is a wonderful speaker. And I am going to turn this over to Tim. Thank you, Tim. We appreciate you're here.
Thank you. Good morning and happy Palm Sunday. Now, this is the week leading up to our Easter celebration. I had the pleasure and privilege of giving the talk to this group last Easter Sunday. Has that already been a year? Wow. So this year, I have the pleasure of speaking on speaking on the week leading up to Easter, which in the New Thought tradition, we celebrate the awakening of the Christ consciousness within the individual. And this is represented by the story that's probably familiar to those of you who were raised in the Catholic or some other Christian tradition, and that is of Jesus riding through into Jerusalem with his disciples. And we get that story from the scriptures, specifically the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 21, and the Gospel of Luke, chapter 19, verses 28 through 44. The two narratives are similar, but there are some differences between them. And so you can read them at your leisure. For now, I'll just give you a brief summary. So as the chapter begins, Jesus and his disciples are on their way to Jerusalem for the Passover, High Holy Week, and they stop at a small village on the other side of a mountain called Mount of Olives. And then Jesus instructs two of the disciples to go to a residence in that village in which they would find a donkey and her colt. And he told them, untie the animals and bring them to me. And if anyone asks you why you're helping yourself to the animals, just tell them our Lord needs them. So they brought the animals to him, and then some of them placed their garments on the colt with the mother ass in front so that it would follow her, and off they rode into Jerusalem. And along the way, and especially as they were nearing the city, a multitude of people spread their garments on the road and cut down palm branches and spread them on the road before them. And they sang songs of praise and shouted, Hosanna, Hosanna, which means Almighty One. And among these people were a few Pharisees, and they kind of got on Jesus's case, and they demanded that he rebuke his followers, to which he replied, I say to you that if these people were to keep silent, the stones would cry out. And that, by the way, was an idiomatic expression, meaning there's so much excitement here that if the living were to be quiet, those who are dead and buried would be shouting out. See, the stones he was mentioning were referring to gravestones along the sides of the road where the people would be buried when they passed on. And then they proceeded through the city to the temple, and he proceeded to cleanse the temple. Now, you probably remember seeing this episode in one of many Hollywood movies about Jesus, and you would see huge crowds of people surrounding him and his disciples, and they have a huge parade through the city. Dr. Rocco Errico pointed out that Hollywood movies always get this part wrong. There was no big crowd of people. It would have been a smattering of people who knew who he was, paying their respects to him by laying down their garments and cutting down palm branches to lay before him as he rode by. That was a tradition in the Middle East when a VIP of some sort was riding into town. Now, let's get a quick historical perspective on this. Remember, when we read anything in the Bible, it's important to understand that these passages were written by and for Eastern people who were familiar with the language and customs of the time. And so much of the message gets lost in translation by the time we read it. So to make his grand entrance, Jesus chose to ride an ass, a donkey, into the city. So he stopped in that small village of Bethany and directed a couple of disciples to go to a residence he probably knew of that owned a mother donkey and her colt. Then he told them, if the owner of these animals asks why you're taking them, tell them our Lord needs to borrow them, meaning the holy man we're studying with needs them. And people would generally consider it an honor for a holy man to borrow their animals. Then he rode into the city on the colt. His family had probably owned and used donkeys when he was growing up, so he would know that riding a colt who had never been ridden before would not be an easy venture. the rider would likely get thrown off and the colt would likely run away. So he had the disciples walk the mother donkey ahead of the colt, and it would cooperate. Now, also in the culture of the Middle East, if you're a king or dignitary or someone important riding into town, making your grand entrance, the animal you would want to be riding would be a horse, preferably a white horse. The white horse is symbolic of victory and acceptance as a ruler. If you couldn't get a horse, a mule, preferably white, would be acceptable. But the last thing anyone like that would want to be seen on is a donkey. This was considered the poor man's transportation. To be riding a donkey, worst of all, a colt, you're considered a peasant who has very little to offer the world. It was a little bit like if a huge pop star like Taylor Swift arrived at the Grammy Awards driving an old beat-up Nissan Sentra and stepped out onto the red carpet from that. See, the ass was considered, or was a symbol of the lowest social status in that society. If a person was tried and convicted of blasphemy, the penalty was often to tie the person up, put him on the back of a donkey, and parade him all over town, thus relieving him of every last bit of dignity. If you wanted to really insult someone, the word you could often use was kamara. I think that's how it's pronounced in Aramaic. Kamara, which means you're an ass. Of course, that's also a common way that we use to insult someone, right? But in the ancient Middle East, it was a much worse insult. But this is what Jesus chose to do: ride not only an ass, but a colt into town. So begs the question, why? What was he thinking? Well, first of all, he was acting out the lesson from the prophet Zechariah in the Old Testament, who advised, "See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey." See, a lot of his disciples had been expecting him to build up a massive following and military might to overthrow the Roman occupation in Judea and then set up a political kingdom. But after several years of traveling and building up a following and doing a lot of healing work and a lot of teaching and preaching, Jesus had not built up this military might. And a lot of his followers had realized this and decided to leave his school of thought. He was trying to demonstrate that this was not what he was about. He was not interested in conquering the enemy out there and building a political kingdom. His whole thrust was building a spiritual kingdom. And where do you go to build such a kingdom? Within. When he had been asked at one point, "Where is this kingdom of heaven you're always talking about?" his answer was, "They will not say, 'Lo here,' nor 'Lo there,' for the kingdom of heaven is within." And the only enemy that you need to conquer before building this kingdom is who? Yourself, your own nonsense. Now, to put that in terms that are more familiar to us, he was teaching the people to build a consciousness of emotional maturity and peace of mind, one in which you demonstrate what's right with the world and what's right with the human race instead of just shouting and ranting about what's wrong with it. and to be a truly healing consciousness. And without building this consciousness first, you might be a great agitator and get a crowd stirred up, but rarely end up making a meaningful difference in your world. See? So he was demonstrating a different kind of leadership, the kind that leads you to you. You all know the difference between a true teacher and a false prophet, right? A true teacher will lead you to you. If you find that a teacher is leading you only to himself or herself, that's always someone to avoid. So this was the main thrust of Jesus and his ministry. Unfortunately, very few people got that in his lifetime. Even most of his main disciples didn't really wake up to this understanding until after his tragic execution, which happened only a few days later. What's more unfortunate is that even today, well into the 21st century, the world is full of people who are still waiting for this same guy, Jesus, to come back to earth, riding on that white horse to set up that political militant kingdom they dream of and conquer everyone on earth who doesn't think the way they think they should think. Now, I'm not underestimating the importance of having good people in positions of political leadership. They have their place in the world, and I'm sure each of us here can name a few that we're thankful for. And we can all name a number of others who we're not so thankful for. But the challenge he had for the people around him was, don't wait until the right people get into power and gain political clout before building that spiritual kingdom and finding peace within yourself. In the first century, in the society that he lived, the very idea of a democracy was about as real as a jet airplane. But he still found that inner peace and that healing consciousness. And that's the primary objective we have as students of this teaching. I remember all throughout the first 20 years or so that I was in religious science, most of our churches and most unity churches and other New Thought churches and centers would end every Sunday service by standing, joining hands and singing that magnificent song, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." And those of you who may not be familiar with it, it ends, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me." And we would sing that and be very inspired. But many people who attended these churches, and I'll admit myself included on some occasions, would start singing a very different song as soon as the church service was over. And it sounded more like, "Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with the government, or the Democrats, or the Republicans, or my supervisor and co-workers, or my dysfunctional family, or that stupid jerk that just cut me off on the freeway. And until all of those people get their act together, I'm going to be an angry, belligerent person. And I'm justified in that thinking." See, that's not a very good song to spend your week singing, is it? So when you find yourself getting caught up in that nonsense, it's important to stop and ask yourself, what's more important to me, being justified or getting healed? So to paraphrase the British theologian and author G.K. Chesterton, G.K. Chesterton, your religion is what you do with yourself 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's not the building or Zoom meeting where you spend an hour on Sunday morning, or the books on your bookshelf, or the metaphysical terminology you add to your vocabulary. It's the consciousness that you demonstrate to your world. So how do we build this spiritual kingdom that we were challenged to build over 2,000 years ago? How do we develop this consciousness of inner peace and emotional and spiritual maturity, and of being, again, an example of what's right with the world? Well, a great place to start would be to take some time every day to remind yourself of the truth of who and what you are, which is exactly what that reading from earlier today that Diana was taking from 365. That was the challenge of that passage. The truth of who and what you are. Infinite spirit, God, if you prefer that term, expressing itself in a wonderful and unique way. And recognize that this is the truth of every last one of us, even the people you come across who don't act like it. And embrace these words from Dr. Ernest Holmes. So I'll wrap it up with this. The spirit that raised Jesus dwells in all. This spirit quickens our mortal bodies when we let it. So let us turn toward the sun of eternal life, the spiritual sun that cannot set and forever rises on the horizon of our own experience. Definitely and deliberately, we let go of every lost hope, every fear of want, every sense of lack, every hurt. We roll away the stone of uncertainty from our consciousness. We find the resurrected, the divine of God-intended perfection and wholeness. We are standing forevermore in the glory of an everlasting protection of the one presence. So it is. And I'll end with a song here. I'm not a huge fan of Christian hymns, but this one is very metaphysical, very much in accordance to what I'm talking about. So I keep it handy for this time of year. In the bowl there is a flower, in the seed an apple tree, in cocoons a hidden promise, butterflies will soon be free. In the cold and snow of winter, there's a spring that waits to be unrevealed until its season, something God alone can see. There's a song in every silence, seeking word and melody. There's a dawn in every darkness, bringing hope to you and me. From the past will come the future, what it holds a mystery, unrevealed until its season, something God alone can see. In our end is our beginning, in our time infinity. In our doubt, there is believing. In our life, eternity. In our death, the resurrection. At the last, a victory. Unrevealed until its season. Something God alone can see. Unrevealed until its season. Something God alone can see. Wait, there we go.
That was absolutely fabulous. Wow. That was, I love how you explained about the donkey and the colt, and that, Jesus was just showing that he was just a peasant, basically, that he wasn't necessarily a king. He was just one of us. And but he was
Get himself out of the way of what he was teaching.
right, which was absolutely wonderful. And it just amazing to me. What a beautiful, beautiful talk. I really enjoyed it. Add that song to the end. Who would like to make a comment?
Well, that was excellent, and I think you answered the question of who is today's comedian. But we had a good time with that and learned a lot. You did
Thank you.
Good revelations there.
Thank you.
Carol Ann, did you have a comment?
Yeah, it not only was an excellent talk, it was so heartfelt, it was so genuine, and it really brought me into a deeper understanding of Jesus the person, knowing that his strength and his following is with the people.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very happy to be there, because that is in the richness, in the fullness of life, where I'm going to say you have more struggles than if you're rich and you have servants, and it's a different type of struggle. But it was just totally beautiful. You could have kept on talking.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. That was just fabulous. John, did you have a song for us too, or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yep, this is one we've had for a while. It's called Meaning. Seems to be a good one for today. Giving attention, setting a time, presenting a thought, moving to climb, opening doorways, stretching to reach, learning what life is, insights to teach. What is the meaning in living? What is the reason for death? Every moment is precious. The world is here in each breath. Sharing experience, creating a plan, growing in knowledge, knowing we can, being a friend, reaching out, learning that loving is beyond doubt. What is the meaning in living? reason for death. Every moment is precious. The world is here in each breath. Learning what happens is not set in stone. Knowing that loving is never alone. These are the keys of consciousness into the secret of awareness. What is the meaning in living? What is the reason for death? Every moment is precious. The world is here in each breath.
Thank you, John. That was beautiful too. All right. So it is that time in our service where we have the opportunity to give. There are a couple ways that you can do that. One way is by going to Zelle or to PayPal and go to sscofakron@gmail.com. That's sscofakron@gmail.com to give, or you can send a check with the word summit on it to 1199 Lexington Avenue, Akron, Ohio 44310. And with that, just as we symbolically take our gifts right over left, in our hands right over left, just know with me all that we have, all that we receive, all that we give is blessed in a very special manner, that it goes to the work of Summit Center for Spiritual Living, and it goes for the betterment of each and every person in the world. And so it is. So let it be. Amen. How about some good, more good, John?
All right. Good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. Unlimited, infinite good is mine. Wherever I go, I see good. Whatever I do, I feel oh so good. I'm worthy and entitled to good and more good. Good crowds itself upon us, wraps itself around us. We give ourselves permission to accept more good, express more good. More good is ours, and ever increasing good is ours. Thank you, Spirit, and so it is.
All right. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So since Michael's not here, I'll do the announcements as far for him. He spends most of his week at New Thought Media Network. And you can find he it's like 8 shows that he produces. Plus, there's also his own show on Friday nights.
He works 8 days a week.
Yeah, really. Plus, he does prayer at 10:15 sometimes in the evening. That's Eastern Standard Time. It'd be 8 o'clock Central and 7 o'clock, 7:15
Mountain.
Mount, or 8 o'clock Mountain, and
Right.
8:15 Mountain and 7:15 California time, West Coast time. But anyway, so he's doing that, and so I there's lots of things to see there, lots of things to, uh, lots of information there. So please do that. And John,
Yeswise.com is where I have my blogs, and look for the Inspire blog, and it's also on YouTube at the Yeswise channel. And then my music is at johndavidmiller.com.
all right, and Carol Ann's going to be our speaker next week for Easter. And was there anything that you wanted to share with us?
I am busy on the backside of the circle, working in many different projects, both on my home and spiritually. So there are to be announced.
All right, okay. Tim, and thank you again for that beautiful, beautiful talk today. So wonderful. Is there anything you need to announce?
No, but thank you.
But we appreciate you, and we're always. We did Easter wonderful last year. You did Palm Sunday wonderful this year. We're so blessed to have you as part of being our group. So we appreciate it so much. Excuse me. All right. So with that, it is time to do a moment of silence. And so with that, I want you to, as we go into silence, I want you to bring into your hearts and minds anybody, whether it be yourself or family member, coworker, or whether it just be the world in general, that may need some prayer and may need some help. And I'm sure there is always somebody out there that needs some help. So with that, John will ping us in, and we'll just go into silence. Hey, thank you. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. Power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
All right. Life is real. Life is true. We are life, living as me and you. Joy is real. Joy is true. We are joy, living as me and you. Peace is real. Peace is true. We are peace, living as me and you. Love is real. Love is true. We are love, living as me and you. Living as me and you.
Okay, well, thank you, everyone. We really appreciate that you are here or have been here. And Anna, you can end our Facebook feed. Well, all right.